Good morning, folks. Ann here. Welcome to my channel. I am in my kitchen. Now, I've been promising you that I was going to do my walk from my kitchen. And I've been so busy, I haven't done it. So, I'm on my walking pad. See it? And I just started, but now I have this right in the middle of my kitchen, right next to my table, because I had it stored away since I moved up here, and I was missing it. Hold on, folks, I turned it on too fast. I can't go that fast. So I've slacked off with this weather, with this heat, and with the smoke. I mean, I slacked off. So I actually have had this out in the kitchen here for about a week now, and I've used it maybe 3 or 4 times. But I'm not walking consistently like I was. And I honestly don't think it takes long to miss my walking and go back to having the pain in my back and my hips. So I really need to keep moving. Now, somebody suggested that I use this a few times a day. So I think I'm going to make a point of doing that, especially after meals. I read that, I know I'm going slow. I read after meals that you can keep your blood from spiking 30%, up to 30%. That's huge. So you don't have to do one long 20 or 30 minute workout or longer. You know, if I do it just 10 minutes after each meal and with a total of 30 for the day, that all counts, folks. So this is gonna have to be it, probably right through the winter, as long as I'm here and I'm not, if I don't go anywhere. I am gonna be in Florida for the month of November. I have a reservation, but so this does keep me moving, and you can see I'm breathing, and I only have it set at 1.8 right now. That's so slow, but it's been my breathing. Now my back isn't hurting today, so I think I lifted too much with those groceries the other day, and I think it kind of caused a little bit of problem there. But I don't feel any pain or anything today. I slept good last night, so I just got to be careful about how much weight I lift. So I hope all of you are doing fine. And I know this isn't nearly as nice as being out there on that, next to the lake or on one of those trails. But the fall is coming. And the temperatures are going to go down. They are going down a little bit this week. And hopefully the smoke will be gone. And I'll get back out there doing the things that I like to do, going places. But, so, what else? I told you all that I applied for the influencer and the associate page on Amazon. And I got approved. I put 6 reviews out there, and I'm able to make my own storefront. But I'm just gonna put links on some of these videos if they pertain to what we're talking about. I'm out of breath, but it is hot in here. I don't have my air conditioner on because I didn't want that to drown out this video. But, you know, I honestly feel, folks, I'm doing fine on my diet, but I think I'm slacking a lot on this walking, and I'm kind of upset about that. I was thinking I should just go out. You know, some days are okay. I think I could do it. If it's a moderate air quality, like around 60, 65 it was yesterday. I don't know. I'd like to just go ahead and do it. But I gotta tell you, you know, there's a couple of roads close to my home up here that I like to go walking on. And I've had my neighbor on the left side tell me that there's a bear over there going into his garbage every night. And then I have somebody on the right side telling me he's got the bear coming into his place, if it's the same bear. Now my garbage cans have been fine. So, and you know I have that bear spray. But do I go walking in these roads around here that are right close by? You know, I always act like I'm not worried about it because I have my bear spray, but I gotta tell you folks, you know, if it came right down to it, I'm gonna be scared. But that's why it might be better to stay near the lake or at the campground, at least until... I hate to do that because I want to climb King Mountain and I need to go into the woods and I need to trust in my bear spray, and I love the hiking trails, and once it cools off I want to do those types of things again. So my frying pan's are bouncing around. So this is working right here. You know, it is working, folks. It works. And I wouldn't have it in the kitchen if I didn't think this was going to be helpful. I used it down in the apartment, you know, when I had to. But this place is smaller and it's not really laid out for a walking pad. But, you know, if it's going to keep me moving, you know, and I don't have dinner parties here. And if I did, all I have to do is fold this up and I can roll it right out of here. But anyway, the bear. What would you guys do? You know? Yeah, I have a couple of different kinds protection. So I could go that route, but I don't know if I want to. I don't really like the idea. My bear spray should handle it. I don't want to be kept from going out into the woods. I love it in the woods. And it's getting closer to my deadline of making King Mountain. So folks, I don't know how we're going to make content during the winter if I'm just on this walking machine. I don't know if you're going to like that, but I know some of you would like to see me out there in that inclement weather, and I'm going to do that too. I love a good snowstorm. But how are you all doing? I don't really have anything planned to talk about today. Only that, you know, because I have been suffering with my walking, how quickly it returns, that it's hard to, you know, you go back to where you were pretty quick. And I don't think I'm back to where I was in March, but if I kept a while, you know, going with no walks, I think I could go right back into that very easily. So I think it's important, folks, that we do some kind of movement. And I'm not even going to try to increase the speed. When I was in the apartment, I was up to 2.5, and right now I'm at 1.8. And I think I'm comfortable like this right now. How long have we been walking here? About 10 minutes. So, and then after I do this walk, I'm gonna do some stretches. And then one thing I've been definitely getting done is getting out and sitting for 20 minutes in the sun, because I keep reading about how important it is. I sit right on my porch during the morning when it's coming right in on one side, and I sit there for 20 minutes and try to get the vitamin D. I think my levels are okay. Oh, let me talk about that salt issue. A lot of people mention that I shouldn't be cutting down on my salt. And I'll tell you why I did it. I did it was because some of those meats, somebody made me realize, some of that meat, like the links, and I'm sure most of the food that I was eating, has a tremendous amount of salt. And it's getting hot in here, folks. It is getting hot, and I think I'm gonna stop it. Because I don't do the heat real well. I'm sorry about that. See, now here's my little living room. I've been telling you all that I'm going to show it to you. And here is the walking pad. But I'll put a link for that. And there's still a lot that I want to do here. But I really am quite comfortable. Now, the rest of the house, I still have to paint the bathroom. So, I'm not going to show you. Plus, I have a big TV in a bedroom that I need to get rid of, and it doesn't look its best. So, the salt issue, folks. The salt. That is why I was starting to get worried about that. Because I was a person that always ate so much salt. And I didn't have blood pressure problems or anything. It wasn't until just the last year that the blood pressure seemed like it was climbing. But my mother never had blood pressure issues, and I just thought, you know, I'm like her. I never had to worry about it. And I'd eat a tremendous amount of salt on everything. That salt shaker had to be right next to my plate, no matter where I was. And I'd constantly, throughout my meal, put salt on. Table salt, I'm talking about. And, so I always knew that I was probably overdoing it with the salt. And then when I started this diet, I read all these good things about we can have our salt. And I love that idea because I loved salt. But I still, in the back of my mind, always thought that I ate too much of it, you know. When people say, yeah, you could have a lot of salt, I thought I've doubled that. I thought I was one that ate more than that, and maybe they don't mean it to have that much. Just like our protein or our fats, you know, there still is a limit. They say to eat as much as you can, but there really is a limit because, I mean, protein, if you eat enough of it, it can turn to carbs. I mean, isn't that what they say? I think that's how it goes. So I felt salt was like that. Yeah, you could eat an abundance of it, but I tripled the abundance. That's how I felt. That's how I felt. So when this lady, she said, how much sodium is in that link? And I went and looked at the packages, and it was 880 for one link. And I usually ate 2.5 links, 2 links. So if you think about how much salt that is, you know, I was horrified. I was, oh my God, I have to cut back on that. Now I know the processed food is not good, but I haven't been ready to completely give all of that up. So that is why I kept mentioning salt, that I have to get rid of the salt, but also those processed foods that I eat. So, and I gotta tell you, I was starting to get like twitches in my legs. Now, I don't know if that's because I wasn't eating enough salt, because I was trying to cut down. I was only trying to cut down a tiny bit, because I know it's important. I wasn't trying to go salt-free or get too low in it, but just give up those real bad processed high-sodium foods that I was eating. But I think I did. I was getting twitches in my legs, and I didn't have that before. So I'm eating the salt just like I was. I'm not buying those links though. But I did buy other processed food. I bought the salami. What else did I buy? Well, there's a lot of salt in those chicharrones. So I'm still getting my regular dosage of salt, but I'm just staying away from those links. And I gotta thank you guys, because so many of you were questioning it and telling me and giving me suggestions and telling me how important it was. And that I commented to one person. That's why I love this community, because we all help each other, and I can't thank you all enough for helping me and keeping me straight.